Recently, we've been having some conversations about conversations with Jesus and about Jesus. Jesus is the master storyteller, the master communicator, and we want to learn from him about communication. Now, the story I want to tell you about today is a really, really incredible one. It's the story of a woman who we only know by where she lives. She's called the Samaritan Woman. Now, this Samaritan woman comes to the well to draw water, like women do and did in that time period, just to gather the water for her household. And on this occasion, Jesus is sitting by the well waiting for his disciples to come back with some food because they're hungry. And when she gets there, Jesus encounters her and he asks her for a drink of water. Now, this violates all the social norms. You see, she's a woman and she's not supposed to talk to a man in public that's not her husband or her father. So this is a violation. Like, why are you talking to me? And she knows that. And in addition to that, just being a woman, she shouldn't have been talking to a man anyways. So with that in the backdrop, we also know she's all by herself and she doesn't have any friends and she's vulnerable. I mean, if you're all by yourself, you can be taken advantage of, you can be hurt, you can be robbed. And that's the situation that we're dealing with today when this conversation begins. I don't really want to talk about that though. I want to talk about this woman herself, who she is, what she's dealing with, and how she's really, really broken. So let's talk about the Samaritan woman and her brokenness. At one point, after Jesus asked her for a drink of water, and she says, "Why are you asking me for a drink of water when you're a man and I'm a woman, when you're a Jew and I'm a Samaritan?" And he says, "Go and get your husband." And she says, "I'm not married." And Jesus says, "You're right. You're not married. You've had 5 husbands, and the man you're now living with is not your husband." And immediately she realizes, this guy, he knows my story. He knows my life, and yet we're total strangers. And he's exposed something in her with regards to all the other things, that she's a woman, she's a Samaritan, but now she's broken. She doesn't have any friends. Nobody came with her to the well to keep her safe or to accompany her on her journey. But here in this context, she's exposed for being immoral and empty and broken by one man after another. Think about that. Think about what that means for her and her self-perception. She's worthless. She's empty. She's been rejected time and time and time again. You know what? Her life is more about surviving than thriving. She's just trying to cope with one more day, one more situation, one more difficult thing. And we're not much different than she is. We too are broken. Every one of us has some level of brokenness. Every one of us has some level of struggle and conflict that makes us feel not so good about ourselves, that we're broken. Maybe we've been rejected in a marriage. Maybe we have lost a friend. Maybe we've lost our job. Maybe we've been slandered. Maybe we're hurting because of an addiction and bad choices in our own lives. If that's the case, we're broken too. And if we were to run into Jesus at the well, he might say to us, "Hey, tell me about this." And we might want to back off. We might want to hide. We might want to act like it's not true. But the fact is, just like that Samaritan woman, all of us are broken and wondering how in the world can we ever get fixed. So how should we deal with this brokenness? How should we deal with the hurts that we all have that make life hard and difficult, just like the Samaritan woman? Well, Jesus asked her a real practical question, didn't he? He said, "Can you give me a drink of water?" And she's confused by his willingness to even speak to her. But in response to this interaction, Jesus finally says, I have an answer for you, a solution for you. And that is, I want to offer you living water. What in the world is living water? He says that if you drink regular water, you're going to get thirsty again and need to drink again. But if you drink the living water I have for you, you'll never thirst again. And immediately she's thinking, okay, how do I get this kind of living water? How do I experience that? How do I find something that I'll never have to work for again? And he reminds her, it's not like normal water. It's my love, it's my mercy, it's my forgiveness, it's my grace, it's my healing, it's my affirmation of you, that you are loved, and that regardless of your circumstances in life, your perspective can be made new every day because you know that there's a God in heaven who knows your name, who knows your life, who knows your brokenness, but still loves you and wants you to know that we can start over, we can start fresh, we can begin again, because living water refreshes us over and over and over again. What a remarkable conversation between Jesus and this woman, this Samaritan woman, where he offers her the solution. But we all have to make the choice. We can't take the living water if we don't want it, if we don't choose to accept it, if we don't embrace it, if we don't receive it. So that's what we have to do. Like her, we have to be willing to drink the living water and to find his healing in our brokenness. And it's an amazing thing that he would give us such a gift.